Alright, first of all, we're going to have to get all these bolts out of here. These are 1/4 inch bolts like this. So we got to get this back panel off here. And this little cover that goes over here, that's got to come off. Make sure you save all these bolts. Now we have a problem right here. This wire has been burnt and it's melted partly. They gave me a new wire, so we'll see if this works. Make sure you unplug the dryer before you start working on it.
Are you talking to me or it?
Okay, this wire came with the kit that I bought, and it's the proper thickness. It also has the proper connector on the front of it right here, and also I stripped it. So we're going to take one of these connectors, put this on it, okay, make sure it's make sure that you twist the wires. Sometimes if you twist them, no matter how much you twist them, they aren't going to be right anyway. So put it in the connector. Take your crimper, and crimp it. You're going to have to choose a large crimper, which in this case is going to be the one in the middle, right there. Okay, now go down to your dryer connection and do the same thing. Now the dryer connection has green on it, but it's going to be okay. This wire right here, and it's hooked to this thing here, whatever it is. I'm not sure what it is. Now we got to make sure that the connector will be okay. Okay, make sure that your connector is on there securely. And just put it back together. Now we'll sort of take this wire, bend it out of the way, because there's a lot of heat going on right here. And here also. Okay, label your wires. I'm going to label this one right here as the top wire. Okay, now unhook this. Might have to have your pliers to get this off of here. Okay. Now we'll look in our kit. See, we're going to look in our kit, see if we have one of those. Okay, there's a bolt at the top. Take the bolt out. 1/4 inch. Take this out. Now there's a small tab at the bottom. And that goes into a square hole. This tab right here goes into a small square rectangular hole, and it goes like this when it's on the dryer. Now you're left with a hole where the component goes. Okay. Make sure this tab goes into the square hole. And line up the holes. Put the screw back in. Just a 1/4 inch screw. Okay, now hook it back up. Remember, this is the one I marked as top wire. So that's going to go there. This one's going to go here. Okay. Now we're going to move on to the next component. This area right here, I'm going to have to move my camera down. Okay, this area right here, this is the heating element. Okay, you're going to have to label your wires. This one I have labeled as top. It's the top wire. So take that off. Alright, now we're going to have to remove this component. Here's the orange wire. The orange wire goes onto this component, and the orange wire goes on the top. Actually, the middle goes on the middle. So take that. If you want to label it, go ahead. Okay, so take that loose. Okay, now we got to take this component off. Okay, there's a tab right here. That goes into the top of this black component. So we got to take that out. Use your screwdriver to get that out. I don't know any other way to get it off except bend it. Okay, now we're going to have to take this one. I labeled it white, which means it goes on the white component. This white component at the bottom, that goes to this wire right here, the one I repaired. So take that off. A lot of these are interconnected. So now we have to get this component off of there. There's a connector here at the bottom of this component, this black component. And that goes on this terminal here. Now we have to get this heating element off. This is the heating element right here. And there is a component, a white component that goes at the bottom that is included with the new dryer element. This is the heating element. Take this screw off. Small 1/4 inch. There's another one over here, you can't see it. Of course it drops down. Okay, might have dryer stuff that gets all over it. Okay, I marked the old component that goes at the bottom. So I got the new one ready to go. Take this out, drop it down. Now this part, these two little bumps here, when you put this back together, these two bumps have to match these two areas here. Like that. Okay, mark your old one. Mark this old component. You can tell that it's got a lot of dryer stuff on it. Fuzz and everything. Okay, now you set this one aside. Okay, here's the new one. Put the new one on. Remember, this goes, these two tabs, these two bumps go at the top. Like that. Okay, line up the holes. Get your screws. I set these screws aside as separate because they're a little bit short. Now, I don't know exactly how they do this at Whirlpool, but I would assume that they do it quite quickly. This is a Whirlpool dryer. And I made sure that this kit had the same number as the front of my dryer. As you open the door of the dryer, the number is right there on the front as you open the door. Take this little screw, put it in, line it up with your old hole. Okay. Might have to hold it like this until you get it up there. Very difficult. Might have to use a nut driver and do that by hand. Okay, might have to do this by hand because it's very small. Okay, don't over tighten it. Just tighten it to a reasonable amount. Both sides, tighten them. Okay. Now this component is very difficult to get on there. It's got a tab right here. And the component, this black colored component has to go like this. The tab goes through this top hole. I'm calling this the top hole right here. And then this clip right here. It has to go on the back terminal. This is the back terminal right here. Right back here. Okay, this clip right here has to go on the back terminal. Press it on with your screwdriver. Give it a little tap. Give it a little tap. Seat it. Okay. Now this wire right here that's I marked white goes on the white component. Like that. The orange one goes on this terminal right in the middle. Here's the terminal down here. Here's the middle one, and here's the top one. Put it on the middle one, the orange wire. Okay, here's the top one I marked. Make sure you mark them before you take them off. Put it on. Like that. Alright. So we got that done. Alright, the next thing we're going to have to do is take this ballast. I do know that this is called a ballast right here. Take it off, replace it. Mark your top wire, like I did. You got 2 blue wires, okay? Mark the top one. Set it aside. Take the bottom one off, okay? Put these back here. Alright, take this off, this ballast. Got a small 1/4 inch bolt, screw. Okay, it fits in there kind of, weird. There's a small tab at the back of this ballast. That has to go in the bottom of this long oblong slot, like this. Okay, mark your component as being an old one. Okay, put the new ballast on. Put the new ballast on. This little tab at the end. One end is square and one end is round. Put the square end in the bottom of this slot. Like that. Now clean the floor. We're going to have to get some major we're going to have to do some major surgery here, get the floor clean. Okay, make sure you put the back on also. I did plug it in, it does work, and it's blowing hot air, so that's what we want. Okay, we're done.